Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel podcast. This is Uni, and I have my guest speaker here, Julien Reiss. Hi, Julien. How are you?
Hi, how are you? Great.
Yeah. I'm so excited about our topic today because it's going to be like an amazing topic for all of to share to the people around the world. By the way, but before we start, for everyone who doesn't know who is Julian Grace is, he is a consultant coach, an author with so many books posted already on Amazon, and Julian also have an experience as a business owner more than 20 years. Let's get started. Hi, Julian. Talking about business, you have more than 20 years experience as a business owner. And then how do you keep that mindset as a business owner, and how can you actually help business owner out there to improve their business, as you have so many experience in businesses, I'm curious about it.
Well, I think there is one thing that many business owners are not really aware is knowing when it's time to give up or not, because most of the time people that doesn't make it, that people are just giving up. That's it. But sometimes it's also good to give up when it's a low level opportunity. So there is like people that don't make it because they don't give up on a low opportunity, and there is people that should not give up in a good opportunity.
Oh wow, how does that mean, like giving up when there is no good opportunity, or there is you not give up because there is good opportunity? When and how can we know as a business owner, for example me, I want to know when I have to give up because this is not good opportunity, or when should I actually stay in this business, maybe this is a good opportunity. It's something that I'm still wondering about it.
Yeah, I think maybe when you have a business idea, it's good to make a business plan. Let's say, for example, you want to sell candles. You think, oh, it's a good idea to make candles, and I'm gonna make like good smell flavor candles. As an example, and you're gonna check how much it costs you to produce those candles and how much you can sell them. Then you can get, okay, if I sell one candle, I can make one box out of one candle. So how much do you want to make every month? Like if you want to make 10K a month, for example, that means you have to sell a lot of candles, because if you want to put 10K in your pocket, how many candles do you have to sell? Not only 10,000, it means like way more. So are you ready like to build a company that is able to manage all that? Because many times we think, oh, I have a good idea, but we don't push it through the level that the company will look like when it's really running. Sometimes we just don't want to go in 9 to 5, you know, and we don't realize like what it takes to build a real business that's running in the long term. Mm.
Yeah. So there's actually something that I pick up in there, as if you want to be a business owner, a successful business owner, especially, make your business, first of all, have a business plan. Otherwise, because I notice there are some kind of, hey, you know what, I'm good at making this, so I'm gonna make, like for example, you talk about candle. I'm really good at making candles, so I'm gonna make this as a business. If you don't have a good plan, they can be like collab not long
Yep.
before you start it. Is that what you actually mean in here, Skis?
Yeah, and sometimes it's just like there is not an enough opportunity on the business you choose, for example, because if your goal is to make 10K per month, selling candles as a freelancer is gonna be tough. So that's why I mean like a low opportunity. Sometimes there is like easier job to do than making candle nowadays. That's where my point. Like it depends on how much what of what you want to make. Like if you want to, I don't know, like be a paint, or whatever, whatever job, like what's the average salary? What's the average paid payment there, because sometimes there is a mismatch in the head of people, or sometimes they're just thinking, especially in France, because we have a high tax, so about half of what you sell goes
Yeah.
back to government pocket in different ways, but it's about the half. So when you think, oh, I used to be an employee and making like, I don't know, 2,000 a month, and I want you to be like to make my own company. So if I sell only like for 2,000 candle for 2,000 uh, euro of candle, I'm gonna make it. But they forget like all the taxes. You probably have to pay some ads. You probably have to pay some software or some materials. As they don't take all this basic income and beginnings, and stuff that you have to pay for it. So that's where people get lost in the process, I think.
Hmm. And then going back to the, giving up and not giving up. When do we have to stop, like our business? Like when do we know we have
Yeah,
to stop?
mm.
We have to
That's a
give
good
up, and
question.
yeah,
Mm. Yeah, that's a really good question because yeah, it's the tricky part, when you're
indeed.
because an example is burnout. When you burn out, that means you should have given up earlier, otherwise you won't be burnout. That's the point. So how to know is entrepreneurship is not about having a balanced life. That's obvious. Like you won't have like a 50%, like a if you slice it in family, personal time for your own stuff, like doing sport or having personal activity that you like, and business, you slide it in three. It's never going to be like one third, one third, one third. It doesn't work this way in the long run, like it's going to vary in time. But the goal is you don't fall down completely. So you have to learn who you are, how you can handle stuff, how far you can push yourself. Sometimes it's okay to work 24 hours in a row in a specific project, but you know that you're
Yeah,
going to be tired the next day. You know,
yeah,
you're not going to work like that every day. So you have to
yeah.
manage your time and the energy that your activity are taking from you. There is like some activity you do it for an hour, you say, "Oh, I'm ready for a second hour like that. I really enjoy it." And there is some of them, after an hour, you just washed, you're drained. So it's really important to manage that level and to just where you are happy, where is the sweet spot for you. And when you find that, it's a feeling, you know it when you experience it. When you
Yeah.
where you are in that sweet spot, you feel it, kind of,
Mm,
um, it's the idea of keeping that feeling, even if it's unbalanced for a few weeks or for a few days, whatever the period it is. The idea is you don't fall down, you don't push too far. So if you feel like you start to be sour or bitter, or you start to be cynical with your friend talking about your project, that's should triggers you like, why am I getting bitter at that project? This should be like a really inspiring project for me. So there is like red flags,
mm.
especially I think in bitterness. That's generally where it
Oh,
starts. Like when you
yeah.
have like whatever happened, oh, I have this great project, and suddenly something happened, and you start to be bitter about it. You're just like, are you really? Is this job is for you? Is this project is for you? Because if you're already bitter with this event, how are you gonna be in 10 years from now, going
Mm,
through all many events like that?
mm. Okay.
So
Yeah.
there is this idea like, can I maintain that on the long run? If not, there is something to work on, I think. Mm.
Yeah. So as a business owner, we have to also have smart idea, or like we have to, realize as soon as possible that if this is something that red flag, or for example something like that, so you not go into the same circle again and again in the long term. Otherwise the business is not growing, but it's
Mm.
stuck there. Yeah, so it is
Yeah.
actually.
And when you say like sometimes the business is not growing, it's because sometimes when you start growing your business, the strategy that worked yesterday does not fit today. Either it's because the trend change, like the funnels for nowadays when you sell online businesses, the funnel before COVID are not the same that the funnels that you have today. You know, like trends evolve, client
Yeah.
customer wishes evolve also, and there is also like the fact that your business grow, and now at this level you need another strategy. You need new strategy to keep moving forward.
Noticing, realize the red flag, and
Yeah, yeah, but the red flags when you see like you're not gonna make it, it's too tough for you. You know, like sometimes you just accept who you are and where you can push yourself, to say it in another way. It's just like this idea, like I can push myself there, but not in that direction. It doesn't fit. And sometimes you're just realizing, like, if you push yourself for 2 more weeks in this direction, as a business owner, you're probably asking yourself how much money I'm gonna make from it.
yeah.
Is it worth it? You know, like there is a fine balance to see. And when it's unbalanced, when there is not enough opportunity, generally we start to get sour, bitter, you know, and
Yeah.
that's yeah. Like for example, if you do like a YouTube channel for 3 years and you publish one video every day, that's after a year, after 3 years, you're close to 1,000 content put it outside, and you don't see any results. Is it
Yeah.
worth it to keep pushing this direction, or is it like a little bit late to change direction? You know, like it's good to push in a project, but when you see like for a long time, you don't see any results, it's maybe time to change direction. Not to stop pushing, but pushing in another direction. You know?
Yeah. All right. So it's the same thing about what you were saying about, before COVID, everything was different than after COVID because the customer evolved, everything evolved. So changing the strategy is needed nowadays. Mm.
Yeah, obviously trends evolve and what
Yeah.
people like evolve, so we have to keep updated also. So it's an ongoing process, and that's also something that discourage some entrepreneur in their journey, because there is some beginners think that, oh, I just get a new certification, I go on the market, and I'm done. No, you just started. you get
Yeah.
you just get the right to start it. It's not done
Yeah.
at all. That's just the beginning of the story, and that's what people misunderstood. Like they say, oh, I'm gonna do like a courses on SEO and put a courses on Udemy and put myself on Fiverr or Upwork or whatever platform, and I'm done, and I'm gonna get paid every month. No, that's just the beginning of the journey.
Yeah, and there's still a
Mm,
lot of things that we work on about many things. Oh my
mm.
goodness. Wow. Interesting one. So how do we actually make it, balance for the business and everything for our life using, our mindset and some kind of communication skills, because this is actually important as a business owner.
Yeah,
And
I think there is like three big points: is how you handle your emotion,
one,
and generally when
how,
you want, yeah, yeah, how you deal with your emotion. Like when a client start to yell at you because he's not satisfied, how you gonna handle it? You know, are you just gonna
yeah,
hide in a hole and close your business because one customer is not happy? Are you just gonna ignore it and deny it and don't care about your customer satisfaction? Everybody have a different way to handle it, but how you gonna handle it, and will you be able to handle it in a healthy way? Because that's sometimes where the bitterness start to comes, and that's one part. And you can improve that working on your mindset, because if you work on your mindset, you will hear and receive interaction differently, and you will see opportunity sometimes instead of fearing what the in a discussion with a customer, for example, when they trigger you on something, they're not 100% satisfied. Will you see it as an opportunity to improve your product, or will you feel attacked? That's mindset.
yeah,
So, like the way your emotion are triggered, it's on the mindset side. And then there is a third one, it's communication, how you will hear it, as I just said, and how you will answer it. Because if you see it as an opportunity to improve your business, you will be happy that having feedback from your customer, and you will just answer, oh, thank you for that feedback. I'm gonna work on it, or I'm gonna put like the right person of my team work improving this area. But if you feel attacked, you will like try to protect yourself and you will reject most of it, you know, so you won't improve. And if you don't improve in the long run, your business is going to crash. So there's like these three leverage that we have as a business owner too that are really powerful. Mm.
So how we handle the emotion using the kind of leverage and mindset in this case too, to help the business growing and improving.
Yep. And the communication also works for ourselves. How we talk to ourselves when we cross ourselves in a mirror in the morning, you know? That's about balance. That's also a good one because if you have bad feelings about yourself every time you think about yourself, you're not gonna make it and all that, you know, like it doesn't work this way. You have to be a little bit too much optimistic, you know, but still realistic.
Interesting about we have to have uh, more a little bit more optimistic but realistic. You know, what is the best way to actually have that mindset as the business owner?
Acceptance and repetition, I think. Like if I have to answer it in two words, accepting what's
Okay.
coming, but always that's the realistic part, but always wish for the best. The
What
sec-
is it?
or,
Accepting.
or accepting and being positive about the future, optimistic
Yeah.
about the future.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Well, this is the an attitude that I want to say for not many business owners started to have this kind of attitude because it's not that easy, to actually work on this kind of acceptance and having this kind of positive attitudes instead of pushing, it's because I want to be successful. I'm going to push this, even though this is hard, I'm going to do it. So, what is your comment into that?
Yeah, when you say pushing, is like we really have to think it like physically. Imagine like when you want to sell something to a client or a customer, whatever, you want to most of the time, and especially in my area, when you do like coaching and consulting, you want to. My purpose is to the client come with an issue, and I want to go from point A to point B. I'm not gonna bring them to point B by pushing them. You know, like how do we react when someone's come in and push you, even if it's someone that you know and appreciate? If someone come and push you, like let's go in the kitchen, and they come and push you in the back, the first
Yeah,
reaction we all have is to block it. Like, what's
yeah,
going on? Why are you pushing
yeah,
me like that? But if the person is holding your hand and say, "Oh, let's go there. That's gonna be fun," you're more likely to go there, you know. Or if you just like start having a discussion and moving forward in that direction, it make it more fluent and more easy for everybody. So it's not about pushing. And it goes
yeah,
also with sales, especially like since COVID, because more and more business are going online. All of us are more solicited from sellers that are really pushy. Less and less people appreciate it. That's also like why there is less and less door to door. People like
yeah,
less and less coming to knock at your door. They knock on your mailbox instead. But
yeah,
you know, like if it's too pushy, we don't like. Yeah, it's not really interesting for anybody. Mm.
yeah. Hmm. Interesting one. So, so interesting. Like as a business owner, especially you working as a consultant business, we talk about mindset and we talk about our um, emotional part and communication skills. Um, what do we need, before we start to make a decision as an entrepreneur?
What do we need before we start? I think it's mostly goodwill, because the rest of it, you know, I don't know any school of entrepreneurship because it's so different for anybody, for everybody, sorry, the journey. Because yeah, there is not a good school for it. You know, you cannot say like that's what you need. It's depend of your background, of your family and friends, where you grow. There is like some skill set that you get from your childhood, from school, and depending on where you come from, you have different history. There is like different lack. So I don't think there's like one specific needs for everybody. It's really depend what you have. You know, it's like with babies. You know, when baby grew up, some of them start to walk before talking, and some of them start talking before walking. But at the end, they know both. I think in entrepreneurship, it's the same. There is a lot of skill set, especially what we call like soft skills or human skills that needs to be developed really in a higher level, especially if you want to build a company with a lot of customer or with employees. You need a lot of human resources, you know, and in human skills to be able to facilitate all the interaction. Because like that's also a big point in entrepreneurship is most of entrepreneurs think at the beginning they're going to work in their business. But that's not the purpose of a business owner. The purpose of the business owner is to work on the business, not in the business. At the beginning, of course, you're going to make it, but that's not the long run stuff to do. Mm.
Interesting about, as a business owner, we work on the business, not in the business. Yeah. And in your experience, because, you started your business when you were teenager, some kind of that
Almost,
things,
yeah. At
Yeah.
the end,
Yeah, and I'm just, what is the secret of your successful business? Because you started at 18. People are now are just like having, enjoying their life when they're
oh,
teenager,
mm.
and let the share to us. It's interesting.
I think it's a question of perspective. Like for me, it was in university was a way to socialize but without losing my time. Like I didn't feel comfortable going in a bar and just getting drunk with friends. I never liked that. But if you put me on the other side of the bar, and then I have to like promote some product and others, I'm still present. I'm helping everybody to have fun. And in this case, there was like a social enterprise side of it, because like most of the profit of that bar was going back to students to get like to help them before to new like with low copy paper copy. It was like 20 years ago, so we has a lot of printed stuff for students, and we have a machine so that the price was really lower thanks to the profit of the bar. So there is like activity like that I was looking for, and I was also looking to have a first experience in the business. For me, it was this, like, okay, I'm gonna go in a bar anyway to socialize and to feel to looks normal, like how it is when you're 20, when you're less than 20. You but I didn't want to just sit in a place on the table with everybody having like cheap talk, complaining about this teacher. Oh, and you see how the attitude of that teacher. I felt like I was losing my time. But if I went in the other side of the bar, handling the stock also, like, like, and at the end, like at 3 in the morning, you have to still have a clear mind because you have to count the money in the in the box. You have to clear everything. So, like this part, I enjoy it, and it was a nice first experience for me. Mm.
Oh. So it's about perspective about yourself. That did you actually dream about becoming entrepreneur at that age, at a very young age at the time?
It's I didn't have this specific like entrepreneurship as it grows last 10 years with like the startup perspective and all the NVCs and all this area. How it things have really evolved like recently, but I had this idea of helping others. Like being at service of the community. How can I improve the community? And that was a perspective. That was where I feel more at ease personally. Mm.
Right. Wow. So basically, it's because you personally like, helping people. Also, it's not just pursuing what you really want when you were young. So really focusing on something, and then you started and becoming, as an entrepreneur at a very young age. Um, what is actually the secret to make this successful business? You know, uh, for people, or let's say, what is the message that you would like to share to the world for the young people out there to start their business?
I think like many people have a huge fear of failure, and they think like being successful, that means, oh, I tried something and I make it. But that's not the reality of entrepreneurship. Most of us who are perceived as successful have become master of failure. Like being successful is just mastering failure. If you take whoever, basketball player, your favorite one, you name it,
Hmm.
how many times you tried before like doing it almost every time?
Every
A
day,
thousand, ten
thousands,
thousand,
yeah.
how many times you tried before being successful? It's just mastering the art of failure. Accepting that if you want to be successful, I mean, there is a need to accept there is some lucky one, they win the lottery, they play 2 times in the lottery and they win. That's, I don't like the lucky way, but my idea is like you're going to implement, and it's like learning a new skill. You're not gonna make it the first time. Even in the movies, Neo in Matrix didn't make it the first time when he tried to jump on the off of the building. Nobody make it in the first time. So it's just accepting that you're gonna fail, learn from it, and grow from it, and doing this until a point when you know enough, you grew enough to make it.
Was it part of your lucky because you started from when you were very young? You're lucky because you had the opportunity to start your own business. Was it? You're talking about lucky.
Yeah, I think this idea of luck is like with traveling, you know there is, because I travel a lot also, but like the first year of university, like daytime, I was at university. Evening, like from 5 to around midnight, I was working on McDonald's, and from midnight to 4 a.m., I was working in a bar. It wasn't luck. Have 3 days in one day. Most of people just pick one. I've put three in the planning. I was exhausted and washed at the end of the first year. It wasn't luck really in my case, like I work my ass off, kind of. I push myself to my physical limits when I was young, and the luck I had is that I was young when I did it. I would not be able to work this pace right now. I won't make it. you know.
Yeah,
Mm.
indeed, indeed. Wow. That's actually wasn't luck, but beside of that, because it was lucky because you were still young, so you had things that you could work. You can work at that time, like
Yeah. When you're
okay,
young, you can spend several days a week without a good sleep. You still make it through
yeah,
the week.
indeed,
That
yeah,
was the luck in this story. So I can push myself physically to achieve a lot of different projects, but still, like after a few years, there were people like, where did you save money? How did you make that? Like, I don't go back home playing video games, then go back in a bar getting drunk. I go back, while you eat McDonald's playing video game, I work in McDonald's. I learning how to manage a team, because I was, at the beginning, of course, I make burgers, but then I spent more than 2 years in McDonald's. So at the end, I was like more managing teams. So that was also a good opportunity for me, like how to make really efficient process. It's not just about burgers working in McDonald's. For me, it
yeah,
was really good lessons on how to manage a team efficiently, how to build process that you can jump in people with almost no competency and have them competent and efficient quickly. There's a lot of stuff to learn from it.
oh my god, so wonderful about this story. Um, so that is why after 2 decade of having this business, you've ended up with like with successful business, and you become a consultant coach, and you have so many books posted somewhere online. Well, how do you maintain the business and about overall quality of life using this kind of mindset things, because it's like over all of the place, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah, well, I burned out 3 years ago, so
oh, okay.
that's happened. I push myself. I reach a point when I can't push myself for more far, so I know my limits.
Mhm.
That's one point, like knowing your limits. But you need to push
Yeah.
yourself to know your limits. If you just stay too close from your comfort zone, you don't know your limits, and you're just like, yes, stepping on eggshells and not fully committed. So I think sometimes it's good to accept that, okay, I'm fully committed and whatever happened. If it crash, it crash. And I learn from it. If I fall down, I won't stay where I fall, the way I felt. I woke up and I move forward and I take my lessons. I mean, that's just it. And don't give up about that. Maybe sometimes give up about your specific project. Like, oh, I want to do it this way. But sometimes you fail and you realize that was not the good way to do it. It's not that you have to give up your project. You just have to give up the way you're doing it to do it another way, and accept also sometimes like who you have to become to be able to do it in a balanced way. Like your old version of you is not going to be like the most efficient version of you. So we have to self-update also. You update your computer, your softwares. Sometimes we have to update ourselves because the habit and the behavior we have doesn't fit to the role and the position we want to have.
Oh my God, this is so powerful. I really pick up a lot of things from this one, um God, it's actually stepping out from our comfort zone. It's needed in every cases. Yeah.
Yeah, comfort zone is where you rest, is where you heal, sometimes. But it's like for sheep, like that's where you put them in port, you can like fix them, rest there. But the ship is meant to sail in the ocean. So we have to balance that. Sometimes we just want to stay home, close to the land, feel safe, but the ship is not made for that. The ship is made to sail, and sometimes it comes with going through storms. If you don't accept that, don't sail.
Nice one. Um, okay. So to become a business owner is not just only the idea. It's
Mm.
not only just, you're good at, but also using the mindset and your emotional too, not just like whatever things in there, and also using your communication skills and willing to change the strategy when something is happening, and beside of that,
Yeah.
accepting
Yeah,
and
because like
let go
yeah, sorry. No,
and
skill
let
set.
go.
Yeah, let go.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Mm.
Go ahead.
Because skill set is one aspect of it, of the business, but being a business owner is another skill set. That's two different competencies. And you can be a good business owner and apply it to different businesses. You can be like the best hair cutter in the world. That doesn't mean you're a good entrepreneur. That means you're a good hair cutter. And if you want to have your own business of cutting hairs, like that's two different stuff. And there's many people that want to start the entrepreneur journey, or they are making it without labeling themselves as an entrepreneur, as an independent, or a freelancer. whatever labels you want to put on yourselves. They're just labeling themselves on the specific competencies they have, and that's why they're struggling with their business. Because I'm a good hair cutter, I'm a good carpenter, I'm a good website builder. Like, but that's competencies that you can sell. But all the stuff like dealing with money, dealing with like administration, paperwork, marketing, sales, all that's business owner competencies. It's not haircutting competencies.
Yeah.
Mm.
Do we need to like for example you mentioned about carpenter and stuff like that as an example, they are good at it, but to actually exchange to swift that into the to become a business owner, do we need to learn some kind of that about marketing, sell, and things like that before we actually labeling ourselves as an entrepreneur or business owner, stuff like that?
I think it's not needed to learn it before, but you have to learn it. You learn it anyway, or you won't make it. If you're not good at paperwork, or you're not good at delegating to find the right accountants to do it, you won't make it long time for a long. Like after a few years, your business will collapse. Mm.
Yeah. How does that important actually mindset, emotional and communication skills, be part of us in business owner?
Well, especially on that case, like if you don't have the right mindset, like especially like beginners generally, they quickly fear stuff. They're really quickly stressed out, like panicking, like, oh, something went
Yeah.
wrong, especially about money, like when there is anything of real money related. That I see many business owners, young one, like the emotion level are out of the roof. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So that just mean like we have to. It's because they're not used to it. If you have to explain to someone how to uh, tie your shoelaces, you won't be stressed out about that. You do it almost every day, if not every day. Like that's okay to use that part. But if you're not used to it, and there's a lot of money involving, that's where the stress comes from. So it's just a red flag that's telling you have to be more competent in that area. If you become more competent, and if you get used to it, you have repeated. Like for me, like when it comes to tax declaration, I'm doing it for years and years now. It's not stressful. It's part of it's still annoying. I agree. It's a big, but just because it's a lot of hour of commitments that doesn't produce anything for me, and I don't like committed hours of work without being productive. I feel like I'm wasting my time and getting robbed, kind of. But it's still a part of the process, and I accept it, and I delegate it as much as I can, so it's less a burden.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So I think beside of competency also there is consistency of building a business. Like
Mhm.
you've been you have the experience for more than 2 decades, but out there people 2 years, after 2 years they fail, they stop. After 3 years or 1 year, after even 6 months, I'm done with it. Is it important to have like a guidance from a professional to start a business, or you can just learn it from yourself? As a consultant business, you know it, right?
Yeah, I think there is like the long. It depends of your will. Like there is people that want to learn themselves. They like to learn. For myself personally, I love to learn new stuff. So whatever new skill I need, I will learn it a little bit anyway. At least you understand to be able like to communicate with a freelancer or with a partner about it. Otherwise, they're just gonna say like, oh, this part is important, this one is not. Like, I don't know. Okay, if you say so, I trust you. It's gonna be about trust. But if I learn a little bit, at least I can understand the pain point, like the leverage, what's important, what's not, what's relevant, what's not. So I think it's important to be aware to learn a little bit. But the business owner role is not to learn and to know everything. It's not doable. Like otherwise you need a lifetime to learn everything. You need to be an accountant. You need to learn all the laws and all your own skills. and that's just too much. So I think there is like a level of competencies that we need in every domain to be able to understand what's going on and to be able like to delegate to the right person. That's the minimum. Out of that is just pleasure and passion, like I'm interested in. So instead of watching Netflix, I'm gonna check a video on YouTube about the specific topic.
Another mindset in here play in this role,
Mm.
right? Like
Mm-hmm.
having the growth mindset is very important as a business owner, and
Yeah. Mm.
it depending on who is actually want to be and where and who is going to be part of their business and stuff like that. Interesting one. This is why it is important to have like communication skill, AQ, mindset, and balancing that. And Julian, last thing I want to know from everything that we just talked about. Do you have like one message that you would like to give to young people, or starting business owner, how to help their business sustain and successful, let's say,
Yeah,
just
well,
simple message for them.
yeah, a simple message is like building a business is not the same than sustain it. Like to reach maintenance and keep growing. That's two different competency. That's why there is like people that launch businesses and there is other people that buy businesses. You know
Yeah.
that because there is people that want to just start new projects, and I'm kind of this vein. I'm good at starting projects because I've started several one in the past, so I can help people in that way. But if you want to maintain, it's another competencies because you're not in the hyper growth at the beginning. It's it's different, you know. Then you step in the zone of progress and or innovation. You have like these two choice. Starting is another part, but in any case, whatever part you are right now, it's really important to don't forget to enjoy the process. You don't like push your pleasure for tomorrow. You know, like
Oh,
life is today, it's not tomorrow, and it's
okay.
of course the end goal is important. It's one key, but enjoying the journey is another key, and you need both. Otherwise, it's pointless. You know, it's not one or another. It's just
Yeah.
when time are tough, you can like keep your your perspective. Yeah, the end goal, but also like don't forget to rebalance and enjoy the present. Otherwise, you're not gonna make it on the long run. And what is about what the purpose of entrepreneurship? Is it to sacrifice for your goal, or is it to have more free time, enjoy your life, you know, have a lifestyle that suits you? Most of us, we start to have a lifestyle that suits us, that's we enjoy,
Yeah.
and doing our business, we forget about it in the process. So that's if I have to share that one thing is don't forget to enjoy it. You know,
Yeah. And
and
knowing
if you,
the purpose of the entrepreneur is, to have a freedom and etc. etc. that you just mentioned about. Beautiful.
yeah,
Thank you
and
very
serve
much,
others.
Julian.
Yep.
Oh,
Serve others. You know, enjoy it, but serve others. It's not about you. It's not about your project. It's about the client needs. If you want to be successful, look every successful company. It's about serving clients. You know,
yeah,
it's not about you. It's not about your product. It's about like answering a need. So the more you help, the more successful you are. That's why many entrepreneurs also have like money as in metrics as you know like how much people I'm helping. If I help a lot of people, I'm successful.
yeah.
Even if it's a
Wow.
one box project, you know, like if you help a million people with a one box project, you make a million. You help a lot of
Yeah.
people with a cheap price, you're millionaire. It's just about how much people you help. Mm,
Enjoy the process and how much you help the clients and the people.
mm.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Julian, for your insight. It's so beautiful. So, yeah, that's a message from Julian, everyone. I hope you gain a value from our discussion today with Julian, and thank you very much. Bye. Thank you, Julian.
Bye.
Bye.
My pleasure. Bye.